Hi everybody, this is Amanda, and I am doing a recording for our Week 8 small groups participation, and this is for social justice practice with Dr. Trinidad. There's a lot of information this week and a lot of videos, and so I'm going to hone in on two specific pieces of literature answering the questions that Dr. Trinidad proposed. The first one is The Child's Levy by Dr. Trinidad and her team. I was really intrigued by the process and how they have doctoral students and everything. And so the first question was, what are things that stuck out to you in regards to best practices of the practitioners that were empowering, strength-based, and or AOP-ish? So when Dr. Trinidad was explaining the process and what they did, what I noticed was that they sifted through all the information to make sure that it was ethical and to ensure equity. I really liked that it was, what I saw was anti-oppressive, was that it was sponsored by the city, all the money for the child's levy. That's anti-oppressive to me because it's coming from the city and giving back to the people in the city. Another thing was that they raised $9 million through housing taxes, and I assume that it's people with big houses, people that are coming from a place that's not maybe so much impoverished. So that's cool. I like that. So the way that I can integrate them into my own potential social work practice with organizations is just by gaining the knowledge and understanding that funds are available to nonprofits through taxes and such like that. I didn't know that prior, because like Dr. Trinidad said, that people that could apply for this levy or this funding are nonprofit organizations, and they go through the process of writing grants and such to obtain them. What would be potential challenges for me to integrate this into my process is that I don't know how to write grants. I've seen a lot of courses that help people to figure out how to do that, but I haven't taken any. And just thinking about that to me seems scary. It seems like a big old like paper assignment or something like that, or like applying for scholarships, except for on a huge level. So it's exciting to think about it, but it's also a little bit scary. Are there examples from the field that integrate AOP, anti-oppressive practice, working with organizations that you want to share? Provide a link or citation for. Not for that one, no. So the other article that I wanted to highlight, that I really connected with, was the white supremacy culture. And the way I looked at it was that it's giving you examples of how to practice anti-oppressive practices, because it's laying out all the things that you shouldn't do that seem to point towards white supremacy culture. And at the very bottom, they lay it out pretty plainly, and it states, by authors Kenneth Jones and Tema Okun. It's the article from Dismantling Racism, a Workbook for Social Change Groups. One of the purposes of listing characteristics of white supremacy culture is to point out how organizations which unconsciously use these characteristics as their norms and standards make it difficult, if not impossible, to open the door to other cultural norms and standards. As a result, many of our organizations, while saying we want to be multicultural, really only allow other people and cultures to come in if they adapt or conform to already existing cultural norms. Being able to identify and name the cultural norms and standards you want is a first step to making room for a truly multicultural organization. I think that this is as anti-oppressive practice as you can get, is calling out exactly what it is that is being oppressive within an institution or organization, and then addressing that in a way that makes the process equitable for everyone. To me, that's empowering and strength-based in a nutshell. And I love it because it's what we are battling, is a white supremacist, paternal majority that makes everyday life oppressive and for populations. Forgive me, I always try to be careful of the words that I'm using because I'm trying to learn and speak appropriately in ways that are not oppressive or racist. So how would I integrate these into my own potential social work practices with organizations? Well, I would be mindful of perfectionism and defensiveness and a sense of urgency, quantity over quality, worship of the written word, meaning not being open to other ideas that may not be my own because I'm stuck in this institutional racism pattern. Like I mentioned before, paternalism, either or thinking, power hoarding, fear of open conflict, all of these things, individualism, progress is bigger or more, objectivity, rights to comfort, all these things point towards a closed-off white supremacy culture that we need to turn away from in order to gain more equity within society. So what would be potential challenges? I think that the potential challenge would be doing things that are different and uncomfortable versus staying comfortable and not having to think about anything and just doing what comes natural because that's what everybody else did before you. Are there examples from the field that integrate AOP working with organizations that you want to share? Provide a link or citation. So I would like to use an example for this one. Drug Court is a great program. I always advocate for it because it helped to change my life. It's a program that I went through. I was in it for 2.5 years. And it helped me to change my life. The thing about that is that I would like to highlight is that I looked it up today, and there's nothing about inclusion or equity or diversity when it comes to their mission statement or when it comes to how they explain their processes. And so that's a place for improvement. I just got distracted as my husband came through. All right, well, that's all I have. Thanks.